This is a New Human Living production, presented to you by Les Jensen.
Hi, I'm Les Jensen. I'm the founder of New Human Living. We're going to talk about emotions, what they are, how they affect us, the notion of good and bad emotions, and emotions in the creative process. So what are emotions? Emotions are, in the simplest form, just messengers. Our emotions are messengers that are telling us how we see ourselves in our situation. When you feel an emotion, it is a reflection of how you see yourself. A messenger, so to speak, to tell you your own perspective on how you're relating to the elements in your life. Emotions are very powerful when it comes to volume of energy. Emotions are very powerful when it comes to karma, and emotions are very powerful when it comes to the creative process, the process of creation. Emotions are consciousness itself. They're not made out of atoms. They're not made out of any material substance whatsoever. It is pure human consciousness. And no matter what emotions you're feeling or how much of an emotional experience you're having, they always pale in comparison to your truth, to your power. But that might not seem that way because we tend to accumulate our emotions. And the more we accumulate our emotions, the more they have an effect on us. So how do emotions affect us? Emotions are a method that we lose or surrender our personal power with. And what I mean by that is, we all have a subconscious arena. We have a subconscious aspect of ourselves. And when we're feeling an emotion that we don't accept and that we suppress, we're actually shifting some of our own personal power into our subconscious energy space. When we suppress our emotions, they don't disappear, they accumulate in our subconscious. And over time, we can accumulate an immense amount of emotional energy in our subconscious. And that energy can hold us in checkmate, so to speak, as far as being able to make change in our life. So often we were taught to keep our emotions under control, to keep them in check, to make sure that they don't get out of hand. And for the most part, when we suppress our emotions, we're only saving them for another day. Some of our emotions impact us more than others. Two very powerful emotions, which are karmic concrete, are guilt and shame. And what I mean by karmic concrete is that guilt and shame can completely disable you as a human being. I mean, sure, you're breathing, sure, you can hold down a job, but there's no expansion of your life. There's no expression of your passion. Guilt and shame are the two most prominent emotions that debilitate people because they take us to the edge of our own self-worth. Guilt and shame are very expensive karmically to hold in your consciousness. Guilt is a denial of self, where you reject yourself or the behavior of yourself, and shame is the culture or the tribe casting you out. When we accumulate emotions in our subconscious, we have a tendency to actually protect the unresolved emotions. And this protection happens subconsciously. Emotions were one of the aspects that cracked myself open. I had so much suppressed anger in my subconscious. And if you were to know me during the early days of my life, I was anything but angry. And that's where the problem lied. I never gave myself permission to show my anger in a healthy way, in any way, at all. And so every time I would have an event that would make me angry in my life, I would subconsciously suppress that energy into my karmic energy space. And over decades, this accumulated to be an immense amount of unresolved anger in my subconscious. Well, I became an expert, and we all do, an expert at protecting the unresolved emotions in our subconscious. And this is how it really debilitates our ability to lead a powerful, passionate life. When you have an emotion in your subconscious, and it has an immense amount of energy to it, the reason it exists in your subconscious is that you've suppressed it. And if you've suppressed it, you've gained zero experience feeling it. And so as time progresses and you accumulate more and more energy based on a particular emotion, the emotional feeling you have when that emotion is stirred up becomes overwhelming. When you accumulate so much of a particular emotion in your subconscious that when you do feel the emotion, the amount of energy that is there is so immense that you feel very threatened or intimidated within your own being. It's like this energy is so powerful and so immense, I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be. So I can't risk letting this emotion out. And we kind of get stuck in this pattern of keeping our biggest emotional issues in check, keeping them suppressed, keeping them in our subconscious. And this only expands the difficulties. This only increases how much the emotion is controlling our life. What about good and bad emotions? Good emotions are emotions that get you excited about your life, that help you enjoy life, where you're engaged in life and you're feeling electric and passionate and vibrant. And, quote, bad, unquote, emotions are based in fear, where the feeling is, I'm threatened, I don't know what the outcome is, I'm not sure how this is going to play out. And those kind of emotions tend to consume our creative energy. They tend to consume our ability to dream. They consume our ability to live a passionate life. Typically, the notion of a bad emotion is emotions that we suppress. Because in truth, these are just messengers. They're just conveying information, and the information is a reflection of how we see ourselves. And so when we don't give ourselves permission to completely feel every aspect of our life, then we start accumulating emotions. And in our culture, in our society, there's an immense amount of suppressed emotions in our subconscious, both collectively and individually. How can emotions be a powerful aspect of ourselves? Well, you're a soul that's living in a human body. Your soul is really big. Your soul has the potential of incredible dreams for your life. And if you've suppressed so much emotions in your subconscious that anything you do that's new or unpredictable runs the risk of possibly, just maybe, bringing up an unresolved emotional event, you'll by default not choose it. But when you resolve your emotional energy in your subconscious, then you have an expanded ability to feel excitement and joy. And so when your soul feeds you a dream for your life, you allow yourself to get truly excited. You allow yourself to get truly passionate and completely engage the vision of your dream, the vision of your soul. And that feeling of joy is raw creative power. That feeling of excitement is raw creative power. And so to work with your emotions is to work with the very essence of your own personal power. I hope these ideas help you understand the nature of emotions and your ability to not be afraid of them, to listen to the message they have for you and release them. It's only when we allow ourselves to completely be present and to completely feel how we feel in the moment that we don't accumulate any emotional karma in the moment. For more information about the nature of your emotions and your personal power, go to newhumanliving.com. There's some very powerful material there that'll help you work with your emotions and your power and get your life to be a exciting, passionate expression of you. Because you're magnificent. We all are. You're here with a gift. And when you allow yourself the ability to share that gift, you touch the lives of not only yourself, but of others. Thanks for listening. Until next time.
This has been a New Human Living podcast, presented to you by Les Jensen.